In early 2020, before a 16-year-old girl disappeared, some strange things occurred, making the case even more puzzling. Even though the police have finished their investigation, the case remains one of the most mysterious in recent years. Did the police really solve the case, or did they try to hide what really happened to her? Hi and welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, please consider subscribing, as it helps us motivate to create more intriguing content for you. Let's have a look at the mysterious disappearance of a 16-year-old girl. Serena Shelley Faye, a Native American, was born on June 18, 2003, in the town of Harding on the Indian Reservation in Bighorn County, Montana. People who knew her said she was nice, happy, and very busy. She liked to play basketball and had a lot of friends, but horseback riding was her favorite thing to do. Selena really thought about starting her own farm after she finished high school. She also thought about running races as a professional. Even though her family had been through a lot of bad things, she kept in a good mood. Selena's family had 5 kids, but tragically, Selena's twin sister, who was 11 years old at the time, took her own life in 2014. No one knows why she did this terrible thing. In 2017, Selena's older sister died under the wheels of a car, and her brother was killed by a police officer. She was walking along the road when a car hit her from behind and drove away. That left just 2 of the 5 children. It is hard to believe that one family can go through so much pain and sorrow. Unfortunately, their bad luck did not stop there. Selena hung out with friends on New Year's Eve 2020. They went to a party at a country house and stayed there until the next day. On January 1, Selena and 4 young guys and 1 young woman who were her friends drove back to Harding. The story gets strange after that. Still, this is the legal information from the case file. So, the car broke down as it was going into town. The driver left it at a stop close by and tried to fix it. He was able to fix the problem for now, but he said it could happen again at any time. So he told Selena and her friend Orlando to wait at the stop until his mother picked them up. She lived just under 15 minutes away by car, so he asked them to wait. The story seems very hard to believe. Why did the girl's friends leave her at a bus stop in the middle of nowhere and drive away? According to the driver, that is exactly how things were. There was also a story that said the driver had to leave right away after fixing the car because if he didn't, the car could stall again. At the time, Selena and her friend had gone too far, so the guys decided to leave without them and sent the mother of one of them after them. But this story is not in the police records. It is just what the local media says. What comes next is really true information. The driver's mother did come to the bus stop to pick up the girls, but they were no longer there. The woman started looking for them because she thought they might be nearby walking around. At one point, she did come across Orlando, who was sitting in a ditch and looking lost. She did not have any shoes on, and her feet were all scratched up. Selena was not even close. The shocked woman tried to ask Orlando what had happened, but Orlando said she had no idea where she was or how she got there. Then she called Selena's parents and told them she was missing. Selena's parents called the police right away. The cops started by talking to Orlando. She still could not remember what had happened in detail. She only told the police that she had seen Selena walk away from the road and into a field, and that her friend had not seen her again after that. When Selena's parents heard this story, they could not figure out why their daughter would just take off in an unknown direction for no reason. The trouble was that it was freezing outside, and the girl was clearly not dressed for the weather. She had on pants, a light jacket, and a sweater. We think you have already figured out how strange this whole story is, but that was just the beginning. On the same day, cops set up a big search around the place where the girl was last seen, which was about 6 kilometers away. There were hundreds of people involved, as well as service dogs, cops on horseback, helicopters, ATVs, and even drones with heat sensors. The FBI quickly got involved as well. The case may have gotten so big because of a sad fact. Native Americans in Montana go missing much more often than people from other groups. Most of the time, cops do not want to look into these cases as much as they can, and sometimes they just won't. Selena's family members also turned right away to the news to help get the word out and speed up the police work. As soon as word got around the city that Selena had gone missing, hundreds of people helped look for her. Most of them were Native Americans, and some of them were kids at her school. Adults helped search the area, and teens put up flyers and told people all over the city about their missing classmate. But the search turned up nothing. The cops did look at the car Selena and her friends used to get home, and they also talked to all of her friends who were with her that day. Just as strange is the fact that detectives have not given out any information about this case. Even if the friends did not tell them anything important, the public wanted at least a few details. The cops then started to look into a different idea. What if Selena had been taken from that bus stop? A friend said Selena had gone into the field, so this theory did not make sense. However, the kidnapping idea got some support as well. Near the bus stop, a person said they saw a green car with Wyoming plates. As time went on, and the search turned up nothing, most people started to think that the kidnapped story was the most likely one. People told the police that they had seen the girl in different places, but none of these tips led anywhere. The places where Selena was said to have been seen were checked with security camera video, and Selena was not there. The cops also tried to find out where the girl's phone was, but they were unable to do so. It was not working. So little was known about the story until January 20th. On that day, 3 weeks after Selena had gone missing, they finally found the girl's body. This was the strangest thing to happen in the whole story. It was found a mile away from that bus stop. The Bighorn County Sheriff, whose Indian name was Big Hair, found the body. Let us go over some important things again. Hundreds of people on foot, dozens of horseback riders, service dogs, a helicopter, drones with heat sensors, and a search area of about 6 kilometers. Even so, the body is found about 1 kilometer from the bus stop. At this point, everyone had the same question. How did they not notice? The fact that Selena was found in a nearly empty field is especially interesting. The earliest report from the Bighorn County Sheriff's Office is that the death happened because of natural causes. After more than a month, on February 28, the results of the medical test came back. The report, which was signed by 4 doctors, said that the cause of death was cold. All of this made people question and doubt the government even more. Not only were search parties unable to find Selena in an open field for 20 days, but she reportedly died of hypothermia a kilometer from the road. Let us look at how warm or cold it was that day. A local news site that posts weather updates every day said that it was about 8 degrees outside in the afternoon of January 1. Selena was only wearing a light jacket and sweater, which was not enough to stay outside for a long time in comfort. A 16-year-old girl who is healthy can freeze to death, even though she was only a kilometer from a highway where cars passed by often. She could call for help. How did things have to go for the girl to wait to die in one place and freeze to death when it was only 8 degrees Celsius? Of course, the cops had to answer all of these questions. Investigators said that heavy fog made it hard for drones and a helicopter to see, and that foot patrols and other units just did not notice Selena even though they were only a few hundred meters away. The dogs were service dogs, but they were not police dogs. Also, they were kept on leashes because the search involved a lot of strangers, and the cops were afraid to let the dogs run free in case they attacked anyone. Selena's family and the whole Native American community did not believe any of these reasons, so they ordered a full investigation into her death. They thought the girl's body had been put there after the first round of searching was done. But there was a big problem. The Bighorn County Sheriff, who was in charge of the police investigation and found Selena's body himself, had a very shady past. In 1995, when he was just a simple officer, a Native American woman accused him of violence, but he rejected the charges and was not found guilty. 2 years later, his gun was used to kill someone, and the man who wanted to be sheriff was put on trial again. There, he said that his gun was stolen and that he had nothing to do with the case. All charges were once more dropped. But here's the strange thing. He paid some of the money the victim's family asked for in the case. Later, he went to court again for assault and battery. But he did not get any real punishment this time either. Not surprisingly, it took a while for people to believe what this man said. Even though the FBI was working on the case, Selena's family and friends began to think that the sheriff might have had something to do with the girl's murder and the cover-up of this fact. But this brings up another question. What would happen if the sheriff grabbed Selena that day and took her to a place no one knows about? The 4 medical inspectors all signed a report that said there were no signs of a violent death on the girl's body. They could only say that the person had died of cold. Considering that the FBI was involved, could the sheriff have asked the 4 doctors to hide something? Or he could have left Selena outside until she got too cold and died. Does not sound good. There is a different way to look at what happened. The first toxicology result shows that the teens drank on New Year's Eve, but no one knows what they did the next day. They may have kept drinking or done something else that was against the law. As for drinking, it is not going to be important. Even though Selena was only 16, a person would have to drink a lot to go into a field, lie down on the ground, and stay there long enough to die of cold. This idea does not make sense, but the one about drugs that are illegal could explain a lot. First, let's consider Selena's friend, who was sitting in a hole with scratched feet and no shoes. Now, let's remember the peculiar story about the broken-down car and the boys leaving the girls at an empty bus stop. It's possible that the teenagers took something, but it overwhelmed the bodies of the 2 girls. It is possible that the boys got scared and just left the girls at the bus stop. But the fact that the driver called his mother and she came to get the girls 15 minutes later puts this idea to rest. If the girls were not in good shape, would he have done it? Most teens would not have told their parents about something like this, but their business has a few strange things about it. First, Selena's friend put up a few short videos from that trip on Snapchat. In one scene, someone is trying to fix something while standing in front of the open hood of the car. At the same time, 2 guys are yelling at each other about something near the back passenger seat. We still do not know what was going on there. Everyone who was with Selena that date is now quiet. Also, 2 of them have moved to other states, and Orlando has removed her Facebook page. All of this is very strange. It has been more than a year, and none of them have answered the questions that still bother the local Native American community and other worried people. The cops have also said nothing about the other teens. The impression lingers that this story is concealing something with careful intention. Thus, the case is concluded, yet the official narrative appears perplexing. According to the story, Selena simply ventured into the field, wandered for a few hours, and eventually laid down. After all, the cops were already there a few hours later, and if she had kept walking around, they would have seen her. Also, hundreds of people with current technology could not find her, and 20 days later, her body turned up a kilometer down the road. It looked like she was put there after the search was over. Even though the cops say there are no tire tracks or other signs that the body may have been moved near this spot, we cannot believe them because of the sheriff's past. One has a lot of doubts about how objective the police probe can be. But the FBI was involved in the case, and they would never try to hide a small-town sheriff. We can see that each virgin has its own problems. Even though it has been a year and a half, the girl's family is still looking for answers. They only have 1 son left out of their 5 children. They want the story about their daughter to get out so they can have a chance at a new, honest investigation. What do you think ended up happening to Selena? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like the video. Thanks for watching.